Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is a preview of the DJI SPARK, which DJI is calling the smallest drone they've ever made. It weighs in at 300 grams, which is just a little over a half a pound, right, kitty? Kind of like you. Well, no, you're more than a half a pound. It's sized at 143 by 143 by 55 millimeters. And if you're like me, I had to look that up on the internet to see that it's 5.6 inches by 5.6 inches by 2.1 inches thick. To put that into comparison is that this hair pick is 5.5 inches long. So think of it, 5.5 inches long this way, 5.5 inches long this way, and 2.1 inches thick gives you the DJI SPARK. That is minuscule, small, and small. Almost the same size, just a little larger than the battery here on the DJI Mavic Pro. So let's go through some of the specs. We have a 2-axis gimbal. It doesn't rotate, but the Mavic's doesn't rotate either. You have to rotate the drone in order to go ahead and do that. You can tilt and pan and go like this, up and down. That's just tilting. Is that panning? I don't know. It's just this way. It has a 1/2 0.3-inch sensor, which is the same as what you find in the DJI Mavic, so you know the type of quality you're probably going to get. The field of view is 81.9 degrees with a 25 millimeter equivalent lens at f2.6. Now that's not as wide for video as what the Mavic offers, and the aperture isn't as wide either, so it's not letting in as much light. But again, remember, this is a toy. Really, we're going to classify this as a toy. What else do we have? It shoots at 1080 full HD at 30 frames per second. It does not have 4K, but again, not a super huge deal. This is meant for a different market. It's DJI's smallest drone to date, and yeah, let's keep going. It uses MP4, not MOV format. It saves to a micro SD card. Let's see, 16 minutes max flight time. Now, when you come to think of it, with something as small, where's my hair pick? Where'd my hair pick go? Oh, it's in my pocket. Something as small as this hair pick with 16 minutes of flight time, that is absolutely insane that it could do that. It fits in the palm of your hand. It can take off and land from the palm of your hand also. Yes, it can land in the palm of your hand. It does have a 3D sensing system, infrared. So it does have some sort of obstacle avoidance, which helps it fly. It also has a ton of DJI technology that is in some of the other drones that makes this a really pretty cool and interesting drone. Max speed of 31 miles per hour in sport mode. Also, that depends on the wind. Everything depends on the wind. Like if it's really windy, you may not get full 16 minutes of flight time, but in something this small, that's not bad at all. Now, how do you fly it? There's 3 different ways you can fly it. You can fly it with touch control, which I'm assuming is on your phone. You can fly it with a remote control, which is not being released at the time of the announcement. And then you can also do gestures like, hey, take my picture, hey, over here. So those 3 different ways that you could do that. It comes in 5 different colors. I think that's kind of stupid. It's a drone. I don't need to see color of my drone. Just give me drone color. Whatever. It's going to cost between $500 and $600. At the time of me recording this, it's right before the announcement. I had as much information as they could give me, and I'll be up in New York City probably when you're seeing this at the actual announcement. That's why I'm making the preview this way. But between $500 and $600 for a toy, it's still pretty expensive when the Mavic Pro, which does 4K, is at just around $1,000. But keep in mind, this is something that takes off from your hand, and it can land in your hand. But is a toy really supposed to be between $500 and $600? What happens if you crash it? Then you're out between $500 and $600. What else do we have here? We've got different flight modes that sound pretty cool. We've got rocket. If you go into rocket mode, it takes off straight up with the camera face straight down, and it records that way. They say that it can take off within seconds of hitting the power button and putting in your hand. It's ready to go and start recording. They've got droney. A droney is where the drone is here, and then you tell it to go, and it goes like this backwards. So it ascends and is filming you at the same time. Circle, meaning it will circle you. a helix, which means it will circle you while going up in the air, which is pretty cool. It's got tap to fly, meaning if you tap on your screen and you tell it where to go, it's going to go there and it's going to stay out of the way of obstacles, because it's not, you don't want it to run into a tree. And then it also has active track. Active track means if you're running, it should follow you. It's pretty good in most of the systems, especially if it locks on to you and you don't do these huge turns really fast. So it's pretty good. I'm curious to know, what do you guys think of something like this? Would you buy this toy? Now keep in mind, it is meant to be kind of a toy because it's the lower end, but it seems to be a possibility that it's pretty functional. If you just need to get some basic video when you're out traveling and you're like, okay, take off, okay, land, and you got some 1080 footage that you can use for extra B-roll, that's not bad. I mean, this thing isn't bad at all to fly around. I mean, it's small. I can pack this in my carry-on, but if I could pack something the size of this in my bag, also, that could be pretty interesting, but we need to see the quality of the photos as well as I didn't see if it's shot RAW. They didn't say if it's shot RAW or not. I didn't see that. I certainly hope it does shoot DNG, being that it has the same sensor as the Mavic Pro and all of the others shoot DNG. I can't see why it wouldn't shoot DNG, but it's interesting. I'll probably get one just because I want to put it in my bag and it would be fun to fly around and less work to do. Even if you don't need a remote, it could be pretty interesting. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think. If you had to choose between a Mavic Pro or this DJI Spark, which one would you go with and why? And don't forget, hit the like button as well as leave a comment down below. And something new I'm doing is I'm going to give away a video guide to people that comment and like in the first hour. And I'll also give away a video guide in general to somebody who likes and comments within the first 24 hours. So that's what I've got right now. Let me hear what you guys think. And that is a preview of the DJI Spark. Don't forget to check out Photo News Fix 1, 2, 3 times a week, at least 2 times a week. That's what we're going for. You can click up on the screen right now to check out the last Photo News Fix, and that's where I'll leave it. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.